Nick Lawrenson back here again with another coaches showcase for the Porter Report. Today, we have Delaware head coach Martin Ingelsby. 2022, the Blue Hens are back in the big dance for the first time since 2014. First time in his tenure, creating a little basketball buzz back in the first stage. Just telling me they had their kids camp, about 100 kids there this week. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing well. I appreciate the opportunity. It's good to see you again. And obviously, a little bit of a downtime for us with leading into the fourth. We got 100+ kids on our campus right now, running around in our practice gyms, having fun, working on their game. Our players are here as counselors. And then we look forward to getting a few days at the holiday to enjoy the 4th of July with our families. And then we'll get back to work right after that.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe 10 years down the line, they'll be Blue Hens. They'll be playing for you. Who knows? Who knows?
Hopefully, make it easy on me from a recruiting standpoint, right? We got some local players in the area.
Exactly. But last year, your roster, it's kind of like this year. I mean, you got a lot of transfers. Just speak about putting the roster together so quickly, because it's different from recruiting. A lot of the times coaches have prior relationships. You probably have a lot of prior relationships with these guys. I know there's some CAA connections, but it's a much shorter period to put this roster together than it is recruits. So just talk about putting them together.
Yeah, I think generally, with the transfer portal, being in place for a couple of years, I think our ability to adapt to it quickly was really important for me and my coaching staff. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with the transfer portal. Obviously we've lost some good players over the last couple of years that have went on to different universities, but it's given us an opportunity to rebuild and revamp our roster pretty quickly. And actually this year, for the first time, we lost in the conference tournament. I gave our guys 24 hours and we had individual meetings after that the next day to be able to have conversations with guys, our vision for them in the future, and to find out, like, are they coming back or not? Because we needed to be really aggressive in the portal with the spots we had available. And it's a different process because when you're recruiting a high school kid, it's an extended period of time where you're recruiting a mom, a dad, a kid, AAU coach, and developing a relationship. And then in the transfer portal, I look at it as like speed dating. Right? We're getting on the phone. We're talking about the opportunity, trying to get kids on campus as quick as we can, and then trying to seal the deal so we can get on to the next one. So it was a busy time for us once our season ended, but really, really excited about the group that we've added. We have 6 transfers coming into our program, 6 out of the 12 guys that'll be on scholarship. So they're all a little different, a little unique, but I do think we've upgraded the talent on our roster.
Yeah, and I mean, that's huge in the league, saying that at the top, there's a lot of turnover. There's a lot of turnover, so there's a lot of opportunity. You mentioned there's 6 guys. Let's talk about each one. Jalen Trent comes over from North Dakota, started 20 games last year for the Fighting Hawks. He's not from too far away from Baltimore, my neck of the woods. Speak about what he's bringing in so far.
Well, I think the one thing from day one when we've had him here is he's a leader, right? He is a guy that's in the gym. He's dragging guys in there with him. He's got a great presence about him. He's a vocal guy. With Jameer leaving, we needed a ball handling facilitator, and he was available in the portal, wanted to come back to the East Coast. I think he's a pass first point guard that is going to get his teammates involved. And, I've been really impressed with his, presence so far in workouts and his leadership qualities that he's shown so far.
And then Niels Lane comes in from Florida. He's a Jersey kid, scored 16 points in the SEC tournament against A&M this last time around. Very good athlete, right?
Mm-hmm. I think that's an understatement. I think he's an elite athlete. Talking to the guys down in Florida, one of the best athletes on their team, one of the best athletes in the SEC, and he can really defend. We recruited him a little bit out of high school. He's a team final kid, very familiar with him when he was going through the high school recruiting process, and just looking for a new home. And I think how we play, our style of play, really fits what he was looking for. And, the opportunity, especially on the offensive end, to give him some freedom to play and make decisions and get out in the open floor. And, I'm really, really excited about the impact that he can have on our team over the next couple of years.
Yeah, and then you also bring in Gerald Drumgoole. He can do a lot for you guys. I mean, he led Albany in points, assists, and steals, started 30 games for them. And he was highly recruited out of high school, went to Pitt. So he knows how to go down to the mid-major level and produce.
Yeah, and that's what we need him to do. I mean, he can score the basketball. He can really, really shoot it, stretch the floor. I think he's a versatile guard that can play multiple positions, and we're going to need him to find the net. Obviously, with some of the guys we've lost last year, but we need to be able to score the basketball. That was one of the kind of impetus for us in the recruiting in the portal this year is to find guys that are really, really good shooters. And we didn't shoot the ball collectively at a very high clip last year. And I think the guys we've added are going to be able or allow us to be a little more potent from the 3-point line. But, Gerald's a great personality. He's engaging. He's positive. I love his energy that he brings to the group every day. So, we're thrilled to have him as well.
Yeah, Zion Bethea is another one that can score. I mean, he was in the league before. He's at Hofstra. Did really well at St. Francis Brooklyn last year. Averaged around 10 points per game, I believe. Just talk about how great it is to have him know the league already before, and what else has he brought into the program?
I mean, I think the one thing about all these guys is they're older. They're second, third, fourth year in college. So, I'll steal a phrase from my previous Boston coach at Notre Dame, Mike Bray, is like get old and stay old. And I think that's what we've tried to build with this transfer roster. Zion's a guy that's been in college basketball a couple of years, really played well at the second half of the season last year for St. Francis Brooklyn. He shot over 40% from the 3-point line, scored in double figures almost every game. So he's another guy that can handle the basketball, play off the basketball, make open shots, and he's got a couple years with us. So I'm excited to see how he continues to develop in our program.
And in that front court, you bring in Kobe Jerome from UC Riverside, New York guy. That last name is familiar because his brother was a star at Virginia. Just talk about bringing him in. I know he didn't have the most minutes at UC Riverside, but it's always good when a kid comes back from West to acclimate him back home to like his home area.
Yeah, well, again, another guy we're excited about. He redshirted as a freshman. He had a shoulder injury last year. Has not played a whole lot of college basketball, but again, an older guy, a seasoned guy that's been out of the high school ranks for a few years. But, guy that just knows how to play, a really good passer, an elite shooter from the 3-point line. I think the freedom we give our perimeter guys will be able to flourish with our group. We like to play maybe two bigs at times, but a lot of times we've gone small and, put 5 guards on the floor, guys that can just pass and cut and make decisions. So he's the only guy that hasn't been on campus with us so far. He's coming next week. So we're excited to get him here and get him acclimated to our system and program and see what he can add for us.
And from the last guy to the first guy, I believe you signed Tyler Hauser coming over from VMI, 10 points, 5 rebounds per game. I mean, that was only in his first season down there in Lexington. I'd assume to continue growing. What have you seen out of him so far?
Yeah, he's a hard worker. He's a big body, good footwork around the post, but a guy that can really stretch the floor from the 3-point line. He had games last year where he took 14 or 15 threes. And I think that was a little bit of our Achilles heel last year, our frontline guys not being able to stretch it and take some pressure, especially off, Jair when he was in the post. So we really went out and targeted a frontline guy that can stretch it and is comfortable doing that. I think he has a chance to be a big time shooter from the 3-point line. He's proven it so far in some of the workouts and when he's got on the gun with us. And he's a guy that, again, has a high ceiling as he continues to develop in our program.
And we're still months away. There's still lots of stuff we got to do with the schedule. But any nuggets? I know earlier today it was announced that you guys are going to continue that series with Ryder. You went up there last year. I believe, it's December that they're coming to the Bob this year?
Yeah, they're going to come, I think, right before Christmas. We'll finish our home and home with Princeton. They're coming back to us, which will be after Christmas. We're going to play Xavier in a bye game. We got to go out to Ohio. We're playing in the Baja Mar event right around Thanksgiving. 3 games in 3 days down there, which I think will be an exciting opportunity for us. We're going to open the John Griffin era at Bucknell to open the season. We always play Dell State. We still need 2 more games that, myself and Coach Phillips, our associate head coach, are kind of working on. So we'll hopefully be able to finalize in the next week or so. As you follow college basketball, getting the final pieces of the puzzle are always the hardest thing to do. So that is something that we're working on daily. But, I like the flow of our schedule. And this year, CAA conference play won't start till after the new year. So we were usually playing a game or 2 right after Christmas in December, but we're not going to start conference play till I think January 4th this year. So it gives us a little flexibility on the back end to play a non-conference game.
Yeah, it's like give you a little time, maybe get one in before at like January 1st or 2nd.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see where we can squeeze it in,
I like that. And then one last thing, I know we're still early on, but we're a couple weeks into practice. Just what have you seen out of this bunch so far that's been promising heading into this next season?
I love the energy of our group. You're adding 6 new faces, really 5 that have been with us with our returning guys. And they just have good energy. They have a great attitude. They're ready to get to work every day. We have not done any 5-on-5 or live scrimmaging. Really use the month of June from a skill development standpoint of getting guys in the gym and making them become better basketball players. I always looked at when I was a player, you kind of get those months, June, July, and August to like, how do I improve individually? And that's really what we've tried to work on in this month. But we'll be able to get back to some team stuff after the 4th of July when we have everybody here. But it's fun, it's exciting. Guys are working really hard, and I'm excited to see what this group can kind of mold themselves into with all these new pieces.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you hopping on. You have a great 4th of July, great last couple of weeks of summer, and we're almost there. We're like 4 or 5 months away.
No, I know it. It'll be here before we know it. But I appreciate the opportunity. Mine is your Pittsburgh Pirates hat. I'm a Phillies guy, so but always fun talking to you, Nick. And if you need anything from us, let us know. Have a great 4th.
Awesome. I appreciate it. You too.
All right. See ya.
Awesome.